our motto at the time was, we may not know what we're doing, but we're damn proud of it.
Welcome to 10 Minute Travels. With me, as always, is Phil Freeman.
And with me, as always, is Shane Patrick. And we are going to talk a little with skier and traveler and longtime Alaskan, Larry Daniels.
Let's get right to it, shall we?
Live and direct from Mexico, huh?
Yep, from where? Los Barriles.
All right. So you flew into SJC, I guess, San
Yes, I
Jose
did. Yep.
International, and then
International.
Now, you're missing out on some really quality rain right now on ice.
I've been seeing the posts, and it's like, man, I picked the exact right time to disappear. Of course, on the other hand, this is the time, the weather this time of year is just historically, terrible.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Well, Shane and I already did the introduction, so yeah, let's just go for it. I like to tell our audience, this is Larry Daniels. I've known him for, over 30 years, probably. I've worked with him different facets. He's always been my boss, so I've always had to treat him with respect. At Alyeska Ski Resort. Shane also worked at Alyeska Ski Resort, and of course, they cross paths many a day, many a time. And the reason I wanted to have Larry on the show is because, well, we were skiing in Japan last year, and him and his buddy who is also just a guru in the ski resort business, they had all these anecdotal stories about the good old days and all these things. And this is a whole side that I never really got to know about Larry, because we were usually all business, sort of. I mean, as much as business as you can get at a ski resort. But what I really found fascinating is just your knowledge base of how a ski resort functions. And then you've been all over the world skiing. And so my first question right out of the gate is, how the hell did you get to Alaska?
Well, actually, that's a pretty good story. I started first in the ski biz at White Pass, Washington, and I think my first summer there, I was almost graduated from college, and went to work at White Pass, and decided that college wasn't really for me anymore. So they were building a chairlift there, so I got the bug for chairlift construction and working around that, and then spent the winter there working. It's actually, I think it was my second winter, but I worked at their day lodge, and I realized that food and beverage was not where I wanted to be. So another buddy, the guy that you and I went skiing with in Japan, Angelo Zopoulos, he and myself and another guy, we went to a lift maintenance school over in Spokane. And at that school was Don Conrad. And I don't know if you guys remember Don, but Don, by the time you guys got to know him, he was the guy that was plowing all the streets in Girdwood. But in the 70s, he was the mountain manager at Alyeska. So anyhow, we're at that school, and Don was looking for a crew to build a chairlift. Well, I think I was 22 or 23 years old, and Zop was 24 or so, and Russ, my other buddy, about 24 or so. And Zop had actually worked on the original Chair 2 construction at Alyeska. And so he knew Don. And so the next thing we know, we got offered a job, and there wasn't really anything going on in White Pass that summer. So we thought, well, this was going to be a summer job, go to Alyeska, build a little chairlift, and then come back and probably hang out again at White Pass. But we got to Alyeska, and I think within about 4 or 5 weeks of working at the resort at the ski area,
what year was this? What year was
74? 74, and we found ourselves being like the number 2, 3, and 4 longest term employees at Alyeska within about 5 weeks, because it was the beginning of the pipeline. And so anybody that had half a wit, was had blasted off for the pipeline, because I think I went to work there for $3.50 an hour, which seemed like a lot compared to $2 an hour at White Pass, but everybody on the slope was making 10. So we're on the pipeline, and so anyway, but I wanted to be in the ski biz, and I was looking forward to somehow working my way into management. White Pass, with the other guy that I was with from White Pass, Russ Foreman, he ended up marrying the daughter of the mountain manager there, and he became mountain manager. So about 2 years ago, I would have finally fallen into the mountain manager position at White Pass. So making the decision ultimately to stay in Alaska was a good move.
And historically, when did Alyeska start? And then, what did it have, established in terms of infrastructure by the time you got there?
Yeah, well, it wasn't much, but Alyeska got started in this, I think, in
I have a ski
December
patrol.
of 59 or 60.
I have a ski patrol sweatshirt that says "Going downhill since 1959." So
Yeah. So I think their first day, lift service was December of 59. And and they actually didn't have the chairlift open yet. They had the and somewhere I one time I went looking for, I found actually an account from the Anchorage Times about the very first weekend at Alyeska. All the a bunch of people stayed at the Tiger's Den, which, if you aren't familiar with that, that was actually then became, that was the old Chilcoots, and which is the double A frame over there that on Crow Creek Road. Anyway, that ultimately burned down, isn't there anymore, but it was Crow Creek Mountain Lodge when I got there. But anyway, I digress. The anyhow, 1959, I think, if I recall correctly, lift tickets were about 325 or 350, something like that. It's super cheap.
What kind of
When
lift
I
did they
got
have?
there,
What kind of
well,
lift?
and so they opened the chair number one in 60, uh, and then January of 60, and then by the time I got there, they had added, let's see, they added chair two in 1972, December of 72. It got not, it got wiped out in 72. It got wiped out by an avalanche. I think it's the March of 72 or 73.
Was that
Yeah.
the one that almost hit the day lodge?
No, there was the one that almost hit the day lodge was, I think, the 64 earthquake. With as a result of the 64 earthquake.
Mm.
But anyhow, yeah, so chair two, I guess it was the 72, spring of 72, it got wiped out. It got rebuilt the summer of 72-ish. We got there in 74 to build chair three. So this was three guys, the oldest of which was 25 years old. We built this chairlift, and our motto at the time was, "We may not know what we're doing, but we're damn proud of it." And but at the same time, they were building the what became known as the Skyride Restaurant, which was an addition on the backside of the roundhouse. And so it quadrupled or tripled the amount of square feet up there. A guy named Eddie Ginswald and his partner Dave, they built that building, and it seemed like every time we turned around, Chris von Imhoff was general manager back then. He was he was telling us, well, gee, the Skyride needs help. Can you guys go up and help Eddie out? So we'd go up there and work for a week or two, and in meantime, we're not getting our chairlift built. And but Chris would say, but you're the number one priority. So I spray painted on the side of this old Army, what was it, a little four-wheel drive Dodge Army pickup thing that we had, that I wrote number one priority on it, which apparently pissed Chris off, because it only got to survive for a day before I had to spray paint over it again. So anyway, I mean, so we poured all the concrete. Of course, we got the tough jobs. We got to dig and pour the concrete, which we were doing that down below in the chairlift. So we were experts at it, apparently.
No one can dig a hole like you.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it was solid rock up there, so we didn't have to go very far.
That was Larry Daniels, longtime Alaskan skier and traveler, talking with us. And if you want to learn anything else about 10-minute travels and what we do, go to 10minutetravels.com.
And we want to remind you to make sure that your sense of humor matches your sense of adventure. And please like, subscribe, and share this podcast on all the platforms.